easy to make holiday treats for your little Christmas get together. So make sure you are enjoying Mrs. A's Famous Salsa Bueno, our official sponsor of the Random Kristian Show.
Boom.
There it is.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Hashtag. Isn't that how the kids say it nowadays? Whoa. Hey, what happened there? Hey, yeah. Perfect edit. You know what that song is?
What?
It was in the middle of it, but hey, that is Elvis, the man, Costello, introing us about writing a book, which ironically, if you didn't know, we've got a gentleman coming on the show here, the man, the myth, the guy who took the Three Little Pigs, made it a Shakespearean, fantastical, mesmerizing episode, and turn it into comic genius, the man, John Branyan. Hey,
thank you, Andy, Chris. It's good to be back. Good to be back with you guys.
It's great to have you back.
So after that opening, are you sure? I'd be
all right. You didn't run for it.
I'm a little questioning myself at this point, John. So
well, I'm reading this off of my notes. So.
That our 7th grade team sent you?
Yes.
All right. Our consultant team.
Tell them how nice it is to be back with them. Check. All right. Now, last time I was here, we talked after the show was over about having me come back and do a live comedy writing session with y'all.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because
you were south of the border. So
no, it wasn't because that you weren't funny. That wasn't the implication that you needed help or assistance. It was more, this is how
sorry for us.
This is how I write comedy, and it would be fun to do it. It'd be fun to do a live comedy writing session with you guys. And so that's the impetus for this. I mean, you sort of implied, you outright stated that that you're not funny, and I don't want people thinking that that's the reason I came on is because these losers aren't funny at all. So I'm going to go on and fix them up.
Really, the consultant thing were just my new printer instructions. That's really what it was.
Well, I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to let the cat out of the bag.
Funny how the writers of the instruction manual knew we were, sucking.
Right.
Didn't want to let the Epson out of the box.
Right. Yeah. Connect cord to printer, USB cord to printer, and you are not funny. What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow.
So here's what I would like to do. Just lay a little groundwork, and then we'll get right into it.
Okay. Do I have to have pen and paper? Because I have a pen, and
it wouldn't hurt to have pen and paper, but when I teach this as a course, you're not even allowed to get out pens and paper for the first couple of hours.
Oh, wow. So
this is going to be we're going to have a truncated, a shortened version. And so you guys feel free to have pens, typewriters, hammer, chisel, tablets,
crayons,
whatever you want to write with.
Yep. Okay. All right. Okay. And just so you know, John Branyan can be found at johnbranyan.com for any and all of this information, because you do teach a class and you've written a book.
I do teach a class. I've written a book. There's an online course available at the website that you can take, and it will give you all of this. And so, yeah. All right. The idea of writing comedy terrifies many, many people. There's a lot of people that just think that it's some sort of voodoo witchcraft that enables people to write jokes. And so we can dispel that pretty quickly by just leaning into the fact, or making note of the fact, that God has gifted everybody with a sense of humor. And a sense of humor is the same. It's like he gave us a sense of smell so that we can smell things. He gave us a sense of sight so that we can see things. And he gave us a sense of humor so that we can detect when things are funny. Now, the thing that we never question is we never question our sense of smell. When we smell something, sometimes we don't know exactly what it is that we smell, but we know that we are smelling something. You know,
Okay.
when we see something, we can't always identify what it is, but we know that we're seeing something. So we trust all of the senses except for our sense of humor. And then when we think that something
Sometimes
is
for
funny,
good reason. Yeah.
when we think that something is funny, a lot of times I know people who actually will stifle their laughter. They will hold their laughter back because they don't. What if it's not funny? You know,
Right.
what if I'm laughing at something that nobody else thinks is funny? And that is a sense of terror for a lot of people. I don't want people to think that. I don't want people to know that I think that's funny.
Right.
And so if something is funny to you, then it is funny.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, we don't need a consensus. We don't need to poll the audience to find out whether or not a joke is any good. If I think it's funny, then it's funny.
Yes.
And that's not just because I'm a comedian. That applies to every single human being on the planet. You have a sense of humor. And so if something is making your sense of humor go off, then relax. That means it's funny. Even if you're the only person in the room who thinks it's funny, it still counts.
Right.
All right.
And yep. I'm okay.
All right. So we've got that out of the way.
Got it.
When you try to think about what to write about or what to say, the question that I always get is, how do you think of material? How do you think of material? And so to answer that question, I wrote a book a few years ago.
Yes.
And the book is basically my explanation. It's my answer to the question, how do you write comedy material? And it's a pretty long book, but I can distill it down to what I said earlier, and that is, if I think something is funny, that's the sort of stuff that I'm going to write about. That's the sort of stuff I'm going to talk about.
Right.
And so when I am in the process of trying to put comedy material together, the first thing I do is I come up with a topic, and a topic is just an idea that I think might be funny. Doesn't have to be fall out of your chair funny. Doesn't have to be, it won't be a finished joke. It's just a concept that you start with.
Yes.
And that thing can literally be anything. And so if you've got you start with a premise. And well, I will tell you what I did when I was first developing this set. I challenged myself to write about the first thing that popped into my head. I said, okay, whatever it is, I'm going to write about the first thing that popped into my head. And the first thing that popped into my head was shower head, because I was in the shower when I had the idea.
Okay.
And I was like, well, shoot, probably shouldn't have done that.
I shouldn't shower. Okay,
Yeah,
making that note right now. No,
I shouldn't have made that deal with myself until I got out of the shower. But I did. I took shower head, and I just started riffing on the idea of shower heads. But before we dash ahead, we need a premise from you guys. We need something that we want to think about, write about.
Okay. I will go with skateboarding.
Okay, skateboarding as a premise. All right, skateboarding is a fine start, but we need to have a point of view about skateboarding. And so
okay, so
what about skateboarding? When you think of skateboarding, what do you see? What pops into your head?
Riding down the street.
All right, so riding down the street on a skateboard.
Yes.
So I automatically picture 60-year-old Christian on a skateboard with like a paper bag of groceries or something like that. Of stuff that he forgot from the grocery store.
Okay.
All right.
So the premise is going to be 60-year-old skateboarders.
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
God. This could take a horrible turn.
Well, so we've got that premise in our head. And so now I want you to pay attention to the things that are in your head now. This is why I don't usually allow writing, because as soon as you start writing things down, you stop thinking about stuff, right? You stop thinking of and imagining things, and you start concentrating on writing things and spelling things and punctuation.
Oh, sure.
And so we go out of our right brain and into our left brain when we start writing things down.
Aha.
And so when I'm thinking about comedy, I want to stay up in my imagination for as long as possible. So
Okay.
so I'm thinking about skateboarding. I'm thinking about 6-year-old skateboarders. And now we're just going to let our imagination go wild. So what do we see? What do we see when we think about skateboarding? You thought about riding down the street, but what else is there in relations to skateboards, exercise?
Well, hitting a rock on a skateboard and
Yeah,
wiping out.
the potential medical problems that comes with being a 60-year-old and riding down the road on Ford uncontrolled wheels.
Okay.
I am kind of imagining myself with a walker to help me along.
Okay.
And I'm trying to avoid people on the sidewalk as I'm skating along.
Okay.
Which are things that happen to me anyway. It's really kind of a real life story at this point.
Right. I
And
also see kids mocking the 60-year-old skateboarder.
Okay.
Ding, ding, ding. Oh, wait, I have that.
All
Let's see. Dogs chasing me and trying to bite me as I'm riding my skateboard down the street.
Okay.
As a 60-year-old man with groceries. And possibly eating some of the groceries as I'm traveling along.
Okay.
Eating like cotton candy or like a churro that you got from some like ice cream truck or something that you passed on the way while you were skateboarding down the street.
Why wouldn't it be ice cream?
Well, okay, so because I'm seeing cotton candy and a churro, so you used your skateboard to track down the ice cream truck because you heard it from your house, and that was the only piece of transportation that was available.
This is a very sad but true moment. So, yeah, life imitates art. Right.
So you hear the jingle, you automatically think, I need a Spider-Man shaped ice cream.
Dang, 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 dang.
Or I need Iron Man ice cream right now. You get on your your skateboard and you ride down the street as fast as a 60-year-old can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's yeah. And that would be the other thing too, is trying to keep.
Unfortunately, he stopped on a decline, and then you need to stop and make it look graceful. Just so you can get your ice cream.
Yeah, there's nothing graceful about that at all.
No.
All right. So how are we doing?
You're doing okay. So what we have is a short list of some concepts that we've associated with skateboarding. All right. And we've got some things in our mind. Now, it's important to visualize what you're thinking about. And the more vivid and the more visual the images are in your head, the easier it is to describe them. And when you describe them, that's where the comedy comes from.
Okay.
Every punchline to a joke is the answer to a question.
Okay.
So if you're the way that you generate a lot of material is you ask questions, things, and the questions fall into these categories: who, what, when, where, why, and how. And then for comedy purposes, another great question to ask is, well, what would happen if, or what if this and this and this? So the question that you would ask is, well, what if a 60-year-old guy started riding a skateboard? What would be the results of that? And you listed some of those things. You know, kids would kids would stare, and kids
Sure.
would make fun, and you might hit a rock and so on and so forth. But what about the how question? Like, how would a 60-year-old man ride a skateboard?
Very carefully.
He would ride it very carefully. What would a 60-year-old man wear when he rode a skateboard?
All of the padded, the most padded clothing that he has.
Like bubble wrap.
I was gonna say, just wrap me in bubble wrap and a helmet. And
he looked like Ralphie's brother from A Christmas Story. Remember when the mom wraps him up to get him out of the house during the cold?
Send him outside? Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you would call the UPS, you maybe go to the UPS store and have them package you and set you on the skateboard. Okay.
All right. So
that's a how.
Okay.
How would what if a 60-year-old man went into or entered the extreme sports?
Yeah.
The X Games.
What if his riding skateboard skills took him to the extreme sports? I mean, how would he compete? Where would a 60-year-old man ride a skateboard?
Probably just in his driveway.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be the safest, most not gonna die place to do so.
Or showing off in front of the old folks' home.
You would ride it, in front of the 80-year-old women.
Right, exactly.
What's up, babe? Yeah.
They would be impressed.
Yeah. I mean, you are down at the skate park, maybe that isn't
too far
from his house.
So here's where you asking those questions is what leads you to find the exaggerations and the absurdity in things. So if you're asking where would you ride a skateboard if you're an old man? Where would an old man ride a skateboard? You could say the driveway, you could say the skate park,
or the shuffleboard park.
But that's not the shuffleboard park, right? He would ride it on the shuffleboard park, or maybe he would just do it, around the kitchen table.
Okay, I was going to say down the hallway.
Yeah, right. Down the breakfast nook, into the bathroom. And so what we're doing,
that some of these have actually happened in my life. So.
Well, what we're doing at this point is, again, we're not crafting jokes yet. All we're doing is we're assembling the ideas. We're just putting ideas together, right? And so this is the crucial aspect of comedy writing. When you're in the process of creating funny things, you're going to have to create a lot of unfunny things in order to get to them. There's no shortcut for this process.
Yeah.
And so the reason that I have hours of stand-up material is because I have hundreds of hours of really unfunny things that I have written. Lots and lots of terribly unfunny things. And so you can't get to the funny things without going through the unfunny things.
Right.
It's a building process. And so we have an idea. We ask these questions: who, what, when, where, why. And then we respond. We answer those questions. And some of the answers that we come up with, no, not some, the majority of the answers that we come up with are not going to be that good.
Right.
But you have to know that going in, because if you start to encounter all of these horrible, unfunny things, it will demoralize you if you don't realize, the more that I get these out of the way, the quicker I'm going to get to the funny stuff.
Right. Okay.
Because people quit. People will look at 2 or 3 jokes that they've written and they go, "Oh, this is garbage. I guess I'm terrible. I guess I'm not funny."
Yeah.
Don't do that. Hang in there. Keep plowing forward. Okay.
Like you're on a skateboard in front of 80-year-olds.
Like you're on a skateboard. Right.
Yeah. I see this intricate pulley system through your house, Kristian, where you're just on the skateboard and you're pulling yourself along just so you don't have to walk.
Yeah.
It's
or maybe
much
you could get
easier that way.
Maybe you could just like have a walker,
Yeah.
around
it. And see, I'm actually like contemplating this in my head.
Like those old box
actually
scooters that we used to have back in the day.
Mhm.
You remember the box scooters?
Yeah.
Right. So if you've got an idea like that, the way that once you have started to craft these ideas, and you've got them jotted down,
Right.
then what you do is you go back and you start looking at them. All right. So some of the ideas that occur to me when we start talking about an old man skateboarding, I think about things like jogging, for example, because jogging, or any sort of exercising. And it's like, okay, so I'm asking the question, why would an old man go skateboarding? Well, because jogging looks like fleeing mortality, but skating looks like negotiating with it. Right?
That's
solid.
Ironically true.
Yeah. So if you've got the idea of jogging, all right, and so we're thinking about an old man, and so we're keeping that we're keeping that in mind. This is a guy who's up in his years, and so why would he do this? What would cause him to do this? Well, maybe it's because he's finally realized that balance, literal and emotional, needs practice.
Yes. Oh,
it's like and so he's on the skateboard. Why would he do this? Maybe because because the wind in your hair feels the same at 60 as it did at 16, only now it smells of menthol rub.
Straight off my chest and sore muscles. Oh, nope. That is
that's great.
What about you talk about midlife crisis. Midlife crisis happens to older guys, and so
I was about to say something about that.
Yeah, so midlife crisis would be cheaper on 4 wheels than on 4 cylinders.
Yeah, true. Well, yeah.
Yep. Let's see. Maybe because the golf course doesn't offer near enough opportunities to bleed stylishly.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah.
All right. So you see, you've got old men go on the golf course. Old men have midlife crises. Old men smell of menthol rub.
Yeah.
And so you see what's happening here. We've gotten the we've got a context in our head, and the context has things like skateboarding. It has activity. It has aging, and all of these things are part of the context. And so we can draw from any of them, and so we can create this rich pile of ideas that are all different aspects of skateboarding and elderly men and so on, and any of them are valid. We can I say it like this: when you're going to build a deck on the back of your house, the first thing you have to do is get the materials together. You have to get a pile of stuff that you're going to build, lumber that you're going to build the deck out of, and you pile that up in your driveway, and then you start organizing, things.
Well, you forgot about leaving it there for at least 3 or 4 weeks at least, and going, well, I'm going to get to that this weekend.
Yeah, you see what you're doing now is you've got a context for building a deck, and you're
pulling out of. Say we're going to start telling.
Now you're riffing on that context, but that's exactly how this works, right? So I said when you build a deck, and you rather than going in the direction that I was trying to go, you went like at a 15-degree angle to that, and noted something else. But that's what comedy writing is.
Right.
Comedy writing is saying to people, hey, so when you try to build a deck, so that they start thinking like this, and then you go 15 degrees away from that, and that's called a punchline.
There you go. All right.
Boom. And there it is.